Oh my fucking Christ!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Intolerable Podcast. This is episode 13. I'm joined here with Dexter. And Sam. Fucking hell. He's gone from depressed Dexter to non-existent Dexter. I couldn't think of a word beginning with D. I'm not good with words, you guys know that. So how are we tonight, apart from mildly frustrated?
Pretty good. Can't say the same for Dexter.
I've had a good day. It's just the past.
It doesn't sound like it.
The past hour or two have been rather frustrating.
See, I've just got back from work, and I think that I'm assuming the last, well, since 10 minutes ago, you were playing CS:GO. Is that right?
Yeah.
I should have a video either coming out soon or it's already out, but I doubt it. Where we all play CS:GO together, and since Dexter and Dexter's played for, he isn't too new to it, but he's got a lot to learn, and Sam is quite new to it, but he's not doing too bad. Obviously, they're both still learning. And I'm trying to teach them.
Yeah, I'm learning
as best I can.
Crap teacher.
Pace.
Wow. Blame it on the teacher.
Yeah, we play our first game ever, and Will goes, "Go squeaky." What the fuck does
what
that
the fuck
mean?
is that?
It's a call out, man.
Yeah, but you're supposed to tell us what it is. You don't just say, "Oh, go."
It's a force of habit. I've just kind of. Oh.
Yeah, well,
I think after you yelled at me, I was just like, the door, the squeaky blue door. And like, if I visually described every single element that was a call out, it'd be. But anyway,
Right, don't worry.
The frustration is only going to develop over this podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends
On what?
how dumb you are.
I don't think it's going to be limited.
Apologies if you hear Will eating.
What are you eating?
I'm eating a chicken breast and probably like a handful of chips, if that. Not even that many. And I've got a jug of water beside me, which I'm hoping will stay like that. And I'm hoping the contents will remain in the jug and not go onto my floor and or desk.
Nice.
Well, you probably want to drink it, really, don't you?
Well, it's a whole fucking jug. I'm not going to down. The sole purpose it is on my desk is for me to consume, not to put anywhere else. It's not there to look pretty. In fact, it doesn't look pretty.
Well, consume it now.
You want me to down this? Bear in mind, this is a whole jug, right? I'm gonna put it on the desk so you can hear how heavy it is, and therefore
that means nothing to me.
No, it doesn't.
I'm going to put my fist on the desk to show you how heavy it is.
Right, it's in a jug.
Fucking retard.
So in milliliters, I've got. Wait. I'm trying to let it flatten out. I've got 1.4 litres here, and I don't want to down it straight away.
Down it.
Thanks.
Do it.
Do you want me to down it?
No, it's
yes,
you
I've
don't have
asked.
to.
I'll give it a go. Right. Can we cue some... I don't want to be downing this and it's just silent.
Nah, we'll
just go
talk
close
about
to the
it.
mic.
Yeah,
Really close?
I want to hear
Not too
the gunk.
close, but relatively close.
Oh, I think he's going.
He's trying.
Go on, fella. Oh, what was that?
that? That's some backwash.
Poor attempt.
I did like half a litre.
Come on.
Weak.
Wait for it.
That was
I'm
weak.
eating. Come on. This is a whole fucking jug, and this was 2 litres when I had it. Bear in mind, I've already drinking half a. Drinking.
After that performance, I'm not convinced you have a penis.
It dropped off, did it?
Lacking in peen.
I diagnosed you with lack of peen.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm trying to eat a bit healthily. Healthier.
Yeah.
I said there was like a handful of chips, and when I say a handful, I don't mean physically the biggest stretch of your hand. I mean like.
So what have you got then? About 6 chips? He's counting
I'd
them.
say currently I have 12, and they're not very big ones.
Nice.
What's the chicken breast? Is it just plain?
Well, I'm guessing
breaded.
What do you mean? Oh no, it's plain.
Plain.
Why would it?
That's not that weird.
I'd argue just having a plain chicken breast is more weird.
Well,
what you need to do is slice that bad boy down the middle.
A lot more healthier. Yeah.
Slice that bad boy down the middle.
Well, it's on the bone.
And then stick some feta cheese in that bad boy. That is.
When I said it was a chicken breast, I think it's a chicken. You know, it's just like it's on the bone. I think it's a breast.
Turns out it's actually just a wing.
I don't think so. No, it's no. It's a half chicken. It's a breast.
Cool. Thanks for that information. Not going keto then.
But yeah, well, you can't just dive into it. I was talking about this I was talking about this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not insulting you for it. I'm just saying you're not doing it yet.
No, well, I'd said I was potentially going to do it, and I'm in the process of sorting it out. For anyone who doesn't know, I might as well explain myself. I'm considering going on a keto diet, which is it's essentially dropping carbohydrates and swapping it to and exchanging it for I suppose fatty foods, or getting your body to depend on breaking down fat as opposed to carbohydrates as your main source of energy. So basically dropping carbohydrates is going to be quite a serious thing. I'm not too informed about it on the specific sides, but I know that that's the kind of gist of it.
Yeah,
if either of you,
it's
please step in.
Typically higher in protein, just because you've got to eat as many calories. Well, usually you just naturally do.
Yeah, of course.
And you often replace it with protein. And then when you say fatty foods, I think it's kind of assumed, but it's like good fats, like stuff you get from avocados. Eggs contain good fat as well.
Eggs, yeah.
And foods like that.
And a lot of red meat, I think.
Red meat, yeah. Depends.
Or just meat, I suppose.
Yeah, red meat's a weird one because you can get some that's pretty processed, and then it's like the fats aren't so good, but it varies.
Yeah. So that's the gist of it. Obviously, you're probably going to have to couple it with exercise to maximise the kind of benefit of it.
Well, yeah.
And I know that to go to make your body to go into a is it called a ketogenic state?
Ketosis,
that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. So to do that, you have to just pretty much, I think you, because I've listened to the Misfits talk about this quite a lot on their podcast, and I know that Swagger Souls, iNotorious, and maybe Fitz are going on it as well. And this is kind of, because I heard the keto diet kind of around, and this kind of made me, I don't know, the way they described it sounded pretty good. But they said to go into ketosis, you need to make sure you're not having that much carbohydrate, maybe about 20 grams maximum a day.
The state of ketosis is when your body is burning fat rather than energy through carbohydrates. So to do that, you have to have low carbohydrate so that your body's not running off that, it's running off the fat instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I'm not that educated and up to date with all this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I was, I probably wouldn't be the size I am. Hey, I'm not. It could be worse.
Okay. That's a fair way of looking at it. Ooh.
Please, someone say something.
Sorry, bit of news. Sorry, I was opening up my little booklet.
That's all right.
It's pretty much guaranteed now, like a certain decision that I have made, that I'm going to Arts University of Bournemouth.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Banging. I thought you were really booking on to Montfort.
Yeah, I know. I've had another change of heart. It's been back and forth, but I'm pretty much settled now. Had a chat with the mother. That's how you know it's official.
To Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So that means that Dexter and Sam are going to be in the same place.
Yeet.
And considering I've got an unconditional offer at Bournemouth, it's not off the table that we might all be there.
Yeah, it's kind of a freak accident.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at Bournemouth since, well, like when we were looking at, doing Newcastle in like year 13. Like I did open days then. Before I even knew you were there.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you were
Well,
going.
for my course, I always considered it, but it was one of those that I just like. I don't know, for some reason I just put off Bournemouth because I knew no one there. I've never been there, and it was just too. I preferred it to be my choices to be a bit closer when I applied first time. But now I'm actually like I've got an incentive to go there.
It's fair enough.
Dexter makes me jealous with all the beach pictures he sends me.
Get fucked!
Oh, you ready to sunbathe together, Dexter?
Right. Fucking hell.
Yeah, let me get out this
so-
twig of a body.
I'll rub the cream into your back if you do mine.
Oh, yeah.
Christ. Jesus.
The other day, I was down at the beach, and there was an absolute madman surfing there. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
fuck
you
me,
said that.
fella, I'm freezing on my own. I'm here with a fucking hoodie, coat, fucking dying, and this man's out here in the fucking ocean.
I wonder if he like triple wetsuited it.
I don't know what he did, but he was bloody out there.
Well, fair play to the fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to just sit on a bench and watch him. I was like, shit.
He blew you
I
away
respect-
that much. You
I
had to,
respect
like,
this
take-
man.
Best believe he pissed himself like 3 times to keep himself warm.
That's respectable.
But yeah. Okay, so imagine if we end up somehow all in Bournemouth. Well,
I'm
it'd be
already
surprising as
here.
Dexter is already there. And Sam's confirmed to be going. Almost, pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, I got to get a pass,
That-
but I'm very confident in that.
Yeah. Well, it opens a lot of doors for the Intolerable podcast if we keep this going.
I don't know if I want to see you in Bournemouth though.
Maybe not.
Actually, it could be
You just closed many doors.
I'm
not just on a
gonna
podcast
avoid
and our
you
fucking
all.
Friendship. I'm talking about like further in the podcast. You're just like, I don't know if I want to see you, let alone hear your voice.
It'd be useful to like have you around though, because there's quite a coastal breeze.
It sounds like you're saving it. Yeah.
There's quite a coastal breeze, and we can use your forehead as a wind
my
block.
fringe.
Yeah. I will say, Will, you're going to need to wear a lot of hats because your fucking forehead would be absolutely exposed.
Expose him, mate. Any slight breeze, and I'm done for.
Well, that's
I'm
that's
going to be
standard
by the sea.
procedure.
I'm shaving my head again, I think. So
Oh, yeah.
the wind's just going to be wisping off the.
Yeah.
off the
You're going to be aerodynamic as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh God,
If you were,
I'm not looking forward.
sorry, you go.
I was thinking, I do want to come down to Bournemouth because I haven't actually checked out the university yet. I haven't had enough time with work and stuff like that. But I've got an interview for UE coming soon. Coming soon to a.
Coming soon.
That's what I meant. But obviously, I probably won't hear back from them for a while. I was thinking maybe after that, maybe I'll come down.
No, you fucking won't.
So thanks for watching the last episode of the Intolerable podcast. Oh,
How is Bournemouth at the moment?
At the moment,
Yeah. Any excitement happening? Any goats' heads?
no goat's heads.
Sheep?
I think I saw somewhere. I saw like a little. They always shove like little pamphlets through our doors, and I didn't pick it up. I just walked over it. But I think Tory Lanez was performing somewhere at some point.
Ooh. That might be the only hairline that used to be worse than Will's. Although he's got it fixed.
Oh dear.
That wasn't even remotely. You're grasping.
I don't know.
Nah, Tory Lanez is renowned for his hair.
He's known for his hair, yeah.
No, not as in you're grasping for the joke. Like it was a good joke. You're just... You're really going for it, aren't you?
Well,
I'm gunning for you.
When the opportunities arise...
Wheel up the hairline!
Oh dear.
Anyone,
Didn't fancy seeing Tory Lanez then?
is there...
I don't even know what days or where it is. I just saw his fucking face on a pamphlet.
Nice.
I would assume maybe it's at Halo. I don't know.
Apologise, my G. I got you.
It's Dax!
I can't do it because I'm recording my...
Turned it off.
Yeah, I'm not doing the old voice mod today. No Dax, no Skyrim.
Damn.
And that's a sad time.
Not down. Good.
Yeah,
Let me see
it kind of loses its whatchamacallit.
It's definitely a gimmick.
Yeah, it loses its flair quite quickly.
Yeah, I gave up before the first podcast we used it.
Well, you introduced it to me, and then you I think you regretted it immediately after.
Yeah, I found it funny for about 30 minutes, and then I'd already fucked it by showing you.
The well effect.
Yeah.
Oh, have you started editing the CSGO video, Will?
I haven't yet, no. I have edited the Rainbow Six video I did with Dexter, though.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Quite funny.
I can't remember what happened. I know I got 2 kills total.
That's very impressive.
It's just my water in the background. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Good
Another game
info.
I'm shit at. That's...
Back to you in the studio.
Who's in the studio?
Cheers, Jeff.
I don't know if you heard that, but I just hit my... Right after I said that, I hit my teeth with my cup. That's the word for it.
Okay.
Your chalice.
Yeah. My beverage.
Oh, sure.
Well, the beverage isn't the vessel that the liquid is in, is it?
Right.
What is your favourite vessel?
My favourite vessel? The SS Titanic.
Nice.
Mine's probably...
Maybe a goblet. I want to have a goblet.
What about yeah.
Or a skull.
A tankard.
So I can be like...
The
fucking...
skull. Geo fucking moment.
I was a legend.
A fucking legend. In Gin Alley.
I'm so lost.
Carl fucking Tanner.
It's a Game of Thrones reference.
Ah.
I'm rewatching Game of Thrones at the moment, but I've realised that it starts in about 3 weeks.
14th.
So okay, so maybe just a bit more than that. But I think I have to average like 2 or 3 episodes a day to be caught up with it. Like, obviously, I've seen all of it more than once. So, in theory, I should be fine, but, you know. I'm excited for Avengers and for Game of Thrones.
How many seasons are there of Game of Thrones?
Of Game of Thrones?
7.
Jesus.
Yeah, this one coming out is going to be the 8th.
And final.
How many episodes do you get like per season?
It's 10 a season, but then the last season
7
they did.
I think 7 or 8. Yeah.
They did 8.
Ooh.
And then
the next one's going to have
6.
like 6 or 7.
And are they like
That's 6
40 minutes, an hour?
They're about an
About
hour,
the- Yeah, about that.
I know that I know that the most recent ones, the next ones are going to be a lot longer though. There's going to be less episodes.
Nah, they've released the times, and they're not even that. They're not even that much longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like the last couple of episodes are like an hour 20, but the earlier ones aren't actually that much longer.
Has anything leaked yet of the new?
Nah, they've got to be like, because it's the final season. They're like full on, fucking. They'll kill you if you say anything.
Okay.
It's the same with like Endgame. Like if anything gets leaked for that, you're fucked.
Makes sense.
Speaking of Endgame, I don't know if you've seen this, Will, but Disney have completed the buyout of Fox.
Oh, is it tonight?
No, they've done it. They've completed
it.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be tonight.
Well, they've done it.
Oh, great.
So that means X-Men rights.
There's nothing going to be in
no,
Endgame.
it's not going to be an Endgame.
Or Far From Home. Like it's got to be in like
no,
2020.
it'll be.
And that's still ambitious. Future.
Yeah, because they've got to recast all the X-Men, which is a lot.
Sam
of
and
people
everyone watching who doesn't know, Marvel owns a lot of properties, but has so I don't know when exactly it was, but many years ago. This sounds like a story now. Marvel wasn't doing very well, so they sold a lot of their rights of their characters to other distributors, like for example Universal, like with Hulk, and Fox with quite a lot of the X-Men. So that's why the X-Men films have been separate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, they've been trying to buy them back because they're doing really well lately. But that's because the X-Men films are in a different universe and stuff like that. But X-Men have just bought they bought the Fox characters back. Yeah. And by now they've managed to acquire the rights. So that means that soon we could be seeing the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, people like that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we haven't seen before, which would be great.
Yeah. It was like,
the only thing I'm worried about is Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what they do with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, by the way, is
Sony.
Partly owned by Sony.
He's fully owned by Sony. Sony just gave Marvel the rights on a 5-movie deal, which was for Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. And then after that, it's up in the air whether Sony take the rights back, or Marvel goes and just buys them straight out.
What they could do, they could be like, oh no, we don't want to give you the rights, and then Disney would, they would raise their price. So that would be a good idea.
Disney can. It's not like Disney can't afford it. It's just.
Is that why the new Spider-Man game is PS4 exclusive?
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, I never really thought about that.
That's basically why.
I don't want to be condescending to you, Sam, but that's a really good point. Like, I'd never thought about that.
I'm a G.
Yes, that is correct.
You're a gay.
And that's why.
That was such a stupid joke.
That's why the Venom film it's Sony, because those rights are in the Spider-Man genre. Sony are making a Morbius film.
Mm-hmm.
It's complicated. Very complicated.
So is it just Fantastic Four and X-Men that they've now got the rights back to?
And Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Oh yeah, Brian Reynolds posted a picture on his Instagram in a Deadpool costume in a bus that had Disney on it.
And he had the Mickey Mouse cap on. Yeah. The thing is with Deadpool is, I don't know if they can recast him. I don't think they can.
No, I'm pretty sure they're keeping him.
But equally, you can't have him coming into like an Avengers film, because the rating would instantly, like, they can't censor Deadpool but they equally can't have an Avengers film being like a 15-16.
No.
So it kind of
is Endgame going to be a 12 as well?
Yeah, I think they're all 12s or 12As in terms of the actual cinema.
Well, it'd be nice to see Deadpool like in cameos and stuff like that. I don't think he could work fully alongside.
Well, yeah, like the whole thing with Deadpool is like he works in his solo films because they can get away with all the fourth wall breaking and stuff. But like, imagine in the Avengers, like there's like a team up bit where like they like just imagine the scene from the original Avengers where they're in the circle and the camera pans around, and then you've just got Deadpool who just says some shit to the camera.
Looks
like
at
it's
the camera just like, oh yeah, I bet you're wrecked. He'd say something like that.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like he's in the fucking office.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah. So,
but because there aren't, obviously, are there any fourth wall breaks in Marvel films? Not that I can think of.
No. Like, there's times where it looks like people are looking at the camera, but not actual fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
Which Deadpool literally does.
Well, I'm sure that most kids now, well, not most kids, but, you know, kids have seen Deadpool.
It's not about that, though. It's just the film commission can't act, like, they just can't give it a lower rating.
Well, yeah.
Equally, he's extremely overpowered.
Yeah. Fucking invincible.
Yeah. And it would just... because there's a whole storyline in the comics where Thanos, his main goal, the reason in the comics he goes for the Infinity Stones is because the goddess of death, not Hela, just death, is a woman in the comics, and Thanos is in love with death, and he thinks in order to impress her, he decides, yep, I'm going to get all the Infinity Stones and wipe out half of all life. And then, I can't remember which comic it's in.
Deadpool bangs her.
Deadpool comes in and bangs her. He just fucks death. It's just, it's like, it's so obvious they were on fucking acid when making these comics. Like, fucking hell.
It would be interesting to see how they'd handle that. Because it's risky.
Well, they wouldn't.
And I don't think
they wouldn't do that. Stuff they wouldn't do.
And the only thing I'd like, if they weren't making any X-Men films anymore, because like I know that Hugh Jackman probably isn't going to reprise his role anymore, despite that leak about him appearing in Endgame, which I'm sure
it's not. It's not just correct. Anyone can edit.
Yeah.
The fucking page. So that's all
like,
it was.
If they weren't making any of those X-Men films anymore, excuse me, I wouldn't be so as in like. It's like it just seems like it's a problem to me that they're still making films, and it's like.
Well, that's why I think they're gonna they won't make anything for the MCU until that all that's done.
Because those characters have been established for ages. Obviously, they're probably not going to be playing the roles for so long. I mean, Fassbender and McAvoy have probably been doing this for probably around 10 years, longer maybe.
What was the first one they were in?
Is it? Let me check.
Was it First Class or was it?
Maybe. I'm just having a look now. It was in 2000.
Right.
So they've been doing that for almost 20 years. I don't know. I don't know which actors it was at that time. Let me just have a look at the cast.
Probably related to Spin.
Obviously, it was Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think that
they won't be
young guys. Yeah, obviously they won't be in these newer films. Obviously, the timeline's everywhere.
But yeah, it won't. It will be completely new. It will just be completely new. Obviously, they will have to have. If they do Wolverine, he'll have to have a very similar story, but like they they have to change stuff enough so that people aren't like, well, hang on a minute, this is confusing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's confusing enough watching all the films and being like, how does this link to this and all these fucking people?
Yeah, so...
It's mental.
Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence has been doing it since 2000, I believe. And I think the younger versions of them came in First Class, which was 2011. So some of them have been doing it for almost 20 years. Some of them have been doing it for 10, which is still mad. But obviously, like, they're just introducing Jean Grey as Dark Phoenix. But yeah, it's just weird, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it.
It's just going to be time, basically.
Yeah.
Because after whatever happens in Endgame, it's going to start off a whole new thing.
Well, they've already dubbed the first 3 phases as the Infinity Saga. That's been confirmed as the title.
Yeah, because from pretty much the very beginning, it's been centered around the stones.
Yeah.
And all leading to Thanos.
About something else, which it's gonna be interesting to see which way they take it.
Yeah.
But anyway, only time will tell.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm very clueless as to this topic. How far do they stray from, like, the comic books?
A lot.
Okay.
Then, yeah. Well,
it basically, there's so many, and there's many different universes in the comics that everyone is kind of... It's all a bit different.
So how they explain it in the comics is because they want to tell loads of different stories and use different characters different ways. Some characters they want to kill off, and then they want to bring them back and stuff like that. They have a concept of universes in, like, different universes in the comics, which is easy. It's easy to
it's basically just the idea. Basically, it's just the idea of a multiverse, but just in the comics, basically.
So, like, parallel universes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's just different versions of each.
So you can imagine how easy it is to tell it to, just say, hey, we're in a different universe now. Let's start a different kind of timeline.
Yeah, it just gives them flexibility.
Where things are slightly different.
So it's literally
so much easier to do in the comics, whereas in the films, it's really not easy to do that. Yeah. That's why they stray so hard and they think about it.
Are there any of the films that are close to a comic?
I haven't really read many comics directly. I just kind of know the gist of them. But
yeah, like they're similar.
Okay.
So like in terms of like the main overarching story, so for example for Infinity War, it does end, like, the final page on the first comic for Infinity War is Thanos snapping his fingers and wiping out half of humanity and just all life. But in terms of, like, characters and stuff, because there's all different things, like Spider-Man, due to, obviously in the comics, there's fucking hundreds of versions of Spider-Man. I think the one in the films is based off of the Ultimate comics, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah.
But they haven't gone through his backstory in the MCU because we've already had 2 film series that have done the whole Uncle Ben dies, great power, great responsibility, all that. So people already kind of know.
What they tend to do in films, they take loads of It's not so much as take one comic and port it onto the screen.
Yeah.
It's more like take different elements. Like, for example, in Thor Ragnarok, I'm sure they put about 3 different comics, like, stories into that. Because there's one comic about Planet Hulk, which is the whole Gladiator one. Yeah. You know that scene, Sam?
No.
Where Hulk fights Thor in, like, a gladiator arena.
Okay. No.
It was in the first trailer for it. But yeah, in terms of Ragnarok, like, Hela in the comics is Loki's daughter.
Okay.
And Fenris is also offspring of Loki.
Loki out here.
Fenris being a giant. Fenris Sam being a giant wolf. It's all mad.
Yeah, comics are mad.
Whereas in Ragnarok, they say that Hela is Odin's firstborn, thus being Thor and Loki's sister.
So basically, they put a load of different
it's all
elements into.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though.
They they take elements and then they adapt it to what's going to work better for a film rather than in the comics, because the comics are very outlandish, and thus because the MCU, whilst it's obviously superheroes, it almost seems like it could be based in reality. When you see Iron Man building shit,
Well, they try and make it as
realistic as superheroes can be, which is not very realistic, but especially once you get to this point now.
It's kind of family centered, and it's a lot more jokey, like a lot different than DC does it. They kind of do it like as realistic. Like if you've seen The Dark Knight or any of those films, they're really realistic.
Yeah.
They're like so gloomy and
love those films.
Which I don't mind. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite films ever, but But I do respect the way they do it. The only thing is sometimes a lot of hardcore comic book fans who read comic books or do read comic books don't really like the way they're adapted. Like a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen Civil War, but that was adapted from a comic where there was a civil war, but it wasn't on the same basis. Obviously it wasn't exactly the same because they ported it differently. But I know that a lot of comic book fans didn't 100% agree the way it was doing.
It's pretty interesting
the way they did it.
Yeah.
I guess it's like them having a ginormous mood board to work off of.
Yeah,
exactly. It's exactly like that. Yeah,
pretty sick.
And what the directors try and do, they try and add little bits to sprinkle. And think about how Infinity War was sprinkled across since 2000 and what year did Iron Man come out? 2009. 2008. So since then, they've been putting in tiny bits that make us think this way and make us think that way, and could lead to this and lead to that.
Yeah.
It's complicated, and whoever, creds to...
Well, Kevin Feige,
He's a fucking legend. And everyone else, of course.
How many...
Well, they said...
you go, Dexter.
Well, I can't remember who said it, but before Kevin Feige was put in charge, they said one of the films he was working on, they said he was like a Marvel encyclopedia, and that's one of the main reasons they put him into his current position, because he just knows so much about it that he can pick from different things and add it all together into a cohesive story.
That's pretty cool. How many films are there total now?
I believe 20. If we're counting the ones that are out, I think it's 21, because Ant-Man and the Wasp was 20. Yeah. 21, Captain Marvel. 22 is going to be Endgame, and then Far From Home is going to be 23.
Are the Ant-Man films good?
Yes. Obviously, different films have different kind of vibes. Some films are a lot more serious than others.
Ant-Man is
you can
less
tell
serious.
That something like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man films, they're a lot more kind of comic relief, choky films.
It's just I've heard a lot less about Ant-Man. When some of the other ones come out, it's hard to avoid it almost. But with Ant-Man,
it's sort of
Sorry.
It's about, because Ant-Man is you get an Iron Man film, Iron Man is a lot of people's favorite character. You get a Captain America film, Captain America is a lot of people's favorite character. You get you get an Avengers film, fucking everyone's gonna bloody go and see that. Some characters are just not everyone's favorite character, and that's when people were not expecting Guardians of the Galaxy to be as popular as it is, because they were barely anyone knew who they were.
Yeah, but they're like a household name now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
kinda
Doctor Strange is in a similar sort of
strange.
boat.
Yeah, like he's. I really like that film, and he's one of my favorite characters. But as a film, it's like one of those ones that's like it's no one's favorite. It's not many people's favorite film, but it's still a good film nevertheless. That's what a lot of people said about Captain Marvel, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the comics, she's like Dexter said, she's no one's favorite character.
Yeah,
But the film was quite good. And
Yeah, it's just, Marvel has its flagship characters, obviously, and like even if you're like you don't read the comics or have ever read the comics or have ever seen a film, everyone knows who Spider-Man is. You can't avoid that kind of character. Whereas some characters, such as Captain Marvel, people will have just never heard of.
Yeah,
because they're just not as popular.
Well, I didn't before Infinity War.
There we go. So it's like in Guardians 2, they have in one of the post-credit scenes, they have that cocoon thing, and the one person asked like what you're going to call him, and she says Adam. Most like if you've not seen any of the comics or anything, you're like who the fuck is this Adam? Who is this? But
who the fuck is that guy?
Then you sort of think Adam Warlock, who in the Infinity War comics, he gets the gauntlet and stops the war and stops Thanos.
So who is Adam?
So like it's he's like he basically just like this gold bloke who's really powerful.
Alright. Sounds like a bit of a lad.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
I feel like describing like characters just as pure and basic as possible. Just like Hulk, big green fucker. And he's angry.
Captain America,
like
American
tall,
bloke with shield.
Nice bloke with a shield.
Iron Man in a tin suit.
Yes.
What was Captain
Rocket.
America's thing again?
Raccoon.
Didn't he just have a fuckload of steroids and now he's like a bit of a beast?
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
Yeah. He just got
Why
juiced.
don't they just give everyone else the juice?
Because they lost the serum.
That's bullshit. Just make it again.
Well, they can't because the guy who made it got fucking glowed.
He got back.
And he
He
only
did.
put it in one fella.
Yeah, he put it in good old Steve Rogers.
Literally, in the film, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but he fucking juices Captain America up. The second Captain America
dies.
comes out, a spy who is watching fucking pops the scientist, tries to kill Captain America, fails, runs off, and then when Captain America captures him, he's like, "Oh, I'm a Nazi," and eats this cyanide pill and dies. Well, he doesn't exactly eat it.
He doesn't eat it.
Cuts it open on a fine dining plate and fucking chows down. It's like, compliments to the chef.
It's just on the end of a fork that he pulls out his pocket.
Yeah, just like...
Yeah. It's just on a toothpick.
He washes it down with some fine wine.
And some bleach.
What a
You're already going to die. Why do you think the fucking bleach?
Might as well down it with something nice.
Nah. Added effect.
Apple cider vinegar for that little health boost.
He was a dramatic fuck.
Side of blue cheese with cyanide, go fuck your mother. It's not a direct quote, obviously.
Yeah, it's blue cheese with wings, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or go diddle your mother.
I feel like most of this podcast has just been talking about Marvel. I swear we somehow get onto like at least like 2 minutes of Marvel per podcast.
It's definitely been more than 2 minutes.
Well, yeah.
We had this one. You were sitting there for like 20 minutes, I bet, just thinking like, yeah.
I went for a...
About that. That's how I feel when you guys talked about UFC though. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't think much has happened in the UFC world though. Since Conor McGregor smashed someone's phone.
Yeah,
that's quite funny.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to be honest that he just gets away with that shit.
Do you really mean?
Yeah.
Shall we end it there then? We've gone 45 minutes so far.
Yeah, 45's not bad. We'll do a little short one. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I don't really mind shorter ones either, as long as we talk and don't feel like we're cutting it off. I feel like we rounded it off at a nice bit. So.
Yeah, let's end it there.
Lovely stuff. Right. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Intolerable Podcast, guys. This has been episode 13.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
One of us is going to die.
I'm just going to be editing this video and my fucking PC is going to explode.
Yeah.
Or maybe this water I've been drinking. Or the chicken I ate is probably going to be like poisoned or whatever. Or maybe just out of date. Or maybe I don't know. If I'm going to die, it's going to be in a stupid way. We all
probably
know that,
just
right?
drown drinking a cup of water.
Stupid.
What, drown in this water?
Oh, one of my favourite stupid deaths from Horrible Histories was the one of the like seagull eating like a turtle and it carries it into the air and it drops it and it lands.
Oh
on
yeah, I
its
like
head.
that one.
That's banger.
I like the one of the guy who put the guy who decapitated his head on his horse, and then the dead head like cut his leg, and he got gangrene and died.
Fucking hell. Bring back Horrible History.
Oh right.
Yeah, check out our channels. They'll be on the featured channels on our channel. How many times do I want to say channel a fucking sentence? But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Sub to our solo channels if you haven't already. Check out our other podcasts.
For no content whatsoever.
Yeah. Make sure you sub to Dexter. You might cheer him up.
Yes. Please do. I have very little in life.
Oh, I've got a little funny thing actually for you.
Apart from
Oh, good.
My dad keeps showing people the fucking 21 Savage mashup I made.
Why?
Oh, to be fair, my mum was showing people my fucking diss track when that came out.
Oh, Christ.
Like, I don't know. It's just like the one thing my dad's proud of me for. Fucking. No, I'm joking. But
that's it. You've made it in your dad's eyes. Yeah. That's it.
I'm a success story.
Check out Sam's channel for the fucking 21 Savage diss track. Check out
it's not a diss track.
He's not diss. Oh,
he's dissing 21.
We're off.
Peace. Cut. Right, see you guys. Bye.